My brother was the one who convinced my parents that I was a thief, that I was stealing from them. And well, it started with their medication. That's right, I'm being accused of stealing my own parents' medication and selling it. It's ridiculous sounding, but at the time I didn't believe my brother was the one behind it. I thought he truly believed it was me, so I set up these little security cameras that you can get on Amazon. They connect to the Wi-Fi, and they have like 1080p, they're this big. Anyways, I placed them around the house, and what I caught on that camera is going to leave you shocked. Is the term innocent until proven guilty not a thing anymore? Have we fallen so far as a society that we don't believe in second chances and hold things against people that they did when they were children, especially when it comes to family? Should they not automatically have your back? I'm heartbroken and tired. After defending myself, I have now proven my innocence, yet I have not gotten a single apology. I want to leave my family home, but they're now begging and guilt-tripping me. Am I over-exaggerating, and was it a genuine mistake? What even qualifies as a mistake these days? I'm genuinely confused and would like some help deciding whether to leave home despite my parents' protest. By the way, my future was nearly ruined because of their accusation. All of this started just a couple of weeks ago, when things started going missing in the house. My parents at first thought they misplaced the items or simply threw them away. But then my father's expensive antique watch went missing, and we realized that we had been robbed. We got the cops involved, but unfortunately, they could not find anything that linked to a robbery. Then my brother started pointing fingers, suggesting that our housekeeper or our gardener took the watch and sold it because of how valuable it was. Honestly, he was kind of making sense, so I went ahead and, guys, I did it. I agreed with him. I shouldn't have. Mom did not want to hear anything about the people that she had personally hired. She suggested that no, we should go and look carefully for it, because it could have been misplaced. She forbade us from ever accusing her employees again, because they were very trustworthy. My brother said it certainly wasn't him, he was trustworthy. Everybody then looked at me, which had me unsettled and upset. I immediately denied having anything to do with the missing items. How could they hold what happened when I was a teenager against me? I've not stolen in years, and I learned my lesson. If you're wondering what happened in my teenage years, well, here you go. So when I was about 12 years of age, I'd say, I wanted to fit in with the cool kids, but my mom would not buy me trending clothing, so I started stealing from her and dad. It became very bad, and when I got caught, they reprimanded me, so I stopped stealing from them, but I still needed a fix. I started stealing from the mall, and somehow I did not get caught for quite a while, until my luck ran dry. I remember how scared I was, waiting for my parents to come and get me. They disciplined me, but was that enough for me to stop? No. I had to keep up with the trends, so I went back at it. Unfortunately for me, this time I was caught at school. I was suspended for stealing from my teacher, and my parents had to pay a fine. They were so embarrassed by what I had done that they pulled me out of school. See, I was homeschooled and closely supervised until I was 15. Then I begged to return to high school. Luckily, I made a very good friend in my new school, and they helped me realize how material possessions simply did not matter. I've not stolen or been dishonest since then, but the shadow of my past follows me. Now that my brother was accusing me, all I could do was defend myself until I was black and blue. My parents told me that maybe he was wrong and that they would do more research. Well, around that time I got a bonus at work and decided to spoil myself by upgrading my PC setup. My brother saw it and complimented me while expressing his jealousy. I was so proud of myself, but that all faded when later on my parents demanded to know where I got the money for the setup. I told them about the bonus, and they did not believe me until I had to call my manager and have him vouch for me. You have no idea how embarrassing it is to have to do that as a grown adult. Even though I proved my innocence, the theft continued. There were no signs of break-ins or forced entry, yet everybody looked at me. It was worse because there were only 3 of us in the house. My brother came by here and there, but he had his own place and was doing well. At 23, he was already supporting himself, and my parents bragged about him all the time. I was jealous because they've never trusted me. Eventually, I got tired of the looks and implications. I could not even buy nice things for myself because my income would be questioned. I needed to prove my innocence, and I knew exactly how, so I bought some tiny cameras and installed them around the house and waited. A couple of days later, my mother reported that this time her diabetes medication had been stolen. Out of all the things that had been stolen, that was the weirdest thing. I could not understand why anybody would do it. I stayed up at night for several nights checking the footage, and I could not go back to the old footage and see the culprit because it had been so dark and I did not see their face. One evening I hit the jackpot when I saw movement around my parents' bathroom. They were not home, they had gone to visit some friends out of town and would only be home in a couple of days. Sure, I was scared but also angry at this thief. I got myself a baseball bat and I went hunting. As soon as I saw the shadow of the person, I crept up behind them and got a nice whack in. The man screamed and fell over, and then I went to town on him. I was so angry and ready to end him when suddenly I heard a familiar voice. It was my brother, begging me to stop. I went and switched on the light, and sure enough he was on the floor, face scrunched in pain. I noticed that next to him was a bag that had fallen over. I checked the bag, and in it I found some jewelry as well as our parents' medication. I was flabbergasted. I mean, him, of all people, he did not need to steal, because he had everything he ever wanted. So why was he doing this? He looked down and actually seemed ashamed, and then he told me that he needed the money. He begged me not to tell our parents, they would never forgive him, and I told him I had no choice, he had betrayed their trust. He begged and bargained with me, offering me everything under the sun, but I said no. However, he was very desperate and angry, and I started to think, well, we were alone in the house, and while I had the upper hand with the weapon, he was strong, and he also seemed determined to do anything to save himself. I had to get the footage of what he had done and hand him over to the cops, but he could not know that. I mean, he couldn't be aware, so I told him to never steal again. He said he would not, but he really needed to take these last items, and he told me that mother's diabetic medication, including some other pills, he had somebody willing to pay top dollar for it. He claimed that he would give me a cut of the money if I let him go this one time. He also promised to tell me why he was stealing from us and what kind of trouble he had found himself in. With that, I went back to my room, and I then took the footage of catching him and extracted it to a USB, which I kept very, very safe. The next morning, my brother was nowhere to be found, but he told me that he would come around the house in the evening, when our parents were home. Best of all, he had sold the things and would bring the money to the house. I made my way over to the police station and reported him, and they caught him that very evening. After providing my statement and proving my innocence, I told my parents that I was done living in our home. How they accused me and treated me suspiciously made me very uncomfortable, so I wished to leave. My parents do not want me to leave, especially while they're dealing with my brother's case. They say they need me, because I always look out for them. Really, after they threatened to get me arrested, if they found proof of me stealing, even though I told them that I would never in a million years steal. Well, fact of the matter is that I'm just done. I'm done living by their terms and also being treated like a child. They should be on their own for now, so they can realize how good I used to be for them. Am I being harsh for leaving now, even though they're in a time of need? Guys, can you please be honest with me? Update 1. 2 weeks later. I wish I could tell you that I told my parents to get lost, and now I'm living my best life away from them. But no, I'm still living with them because I feel sorry for them. What happened really impacted my father, and he's been getting very sick. He's been in and out of the hospital, and the doctors could not tell us what was going on in the beginning. But when they did some testing, they made a horrible discovery. The news was so bad that my mother also had to get tested. See, my parents are suffering from withdrawals because apparently they've been taking opioids. I know my parents are not getting them themselves, and they deny getting them themselves, so only one person could have known. Knowing this made me frustrated, and I found myself feeling so protective of my parents. I went and visited the newest black sheep of the family because I wanted the full story. What pathetic excuse did he have for what he had done? Stealing from the family was not enough. Now he had been replacing our parents' medication with opioids. The worst part is that we did not notice because they took the medicine before sleeping. There could have been permanent damage. I mean, how could he do this? Are you ready to know the true reason why my brother stole from our family and endangered our parents at all? It's because of a woman that he had never even met before. My brother told me that some time ago he was lonely, so he hopped onto the internet and met a woman. She was incredibly beautiful and shared all of his interests, but she was in another country. Very quickly, their relationship became transactional, and at first he was okay with it because he makes good money. However, as he fell deeper in love with her, she asked for more and more, and soon it was unsustainable, and his credit cards were maxed out. He tried to use our parents' card, but they reported fraudulent activity, and he got scared. His next thought was to steal small valuable things until they became big valuable things. So one day he stole mom's bag, and inside were her medications. The person he sold the bag to really wanted the medication because it was prescription only, and begged him to get more. Instead of stopping while he could, my brother stole more and replaced some of it with what, well, he believed were dupes. He figured our parents would not notice, since they were old. He swears up and down that he had no idea he was harming them. He begged me to do one thing for him, and he would never ask me for anything again. I decided to listen to him, thinking he wanted me to speak to our parents. This man was not even thinking about our parents, guys. He wanted me to text his girlfriend for him and tell her that he ran into some trouble, but he did not want to ghost her. He also wanted me to ask her if she could send some money for the legal fees. He told me where to find the key, and also gave me his computer password. Oh, I was tempted to say no, but I stopped myself. Guys, I'm pretty sure my brother is being scammed, or he's dating a gold digger. I want to speak to this girl who has caused so much trouble in our lives. I also want to tell her to stay far away from my brother, or else she will regret the day. I've told him that I'll contact her, but he has no idea what my plan is. Hopefully I can expose her, so he can be aware of just how much he has messed up. I can't believe my smart brother has been duped by such a simple scam. If I was not so angry with him, I would feel sorry for him. I mean, what do you think? Update 2. 2 days later, if I don't laugh, then I'm going to cry, because why are men so easily fooled by a pretty face? Those who say pretty privilege is not real need to touch grass, because wow. I saw my brother's girlfriend, and it did not take me long to expose the truth about her. I can't believe that he did not pick up on all these red flags. If he had told me about her earlier on, I would have easily shown him that he was being played. Maybe we would not be in this situation, and our parents would not be sick. After visiting him, I made my way to his apartment and let myself in. Once I logged in, I looked for her name and what she had been texting him nonstop. She was angry and calling him names for not texting her back. Not only that, but she was asking for more money since he did not send her the money the last time. I got to speak to her while pretending to be my brother. I told her I've been sick, but I had just woken up. I then promised her that the money would be sent as soon as possible, and as soon as I said that, her tone changed and she became so nice. She sent a selfie that was quite suggestive, but still safe for work. I took that image and ran a reverse image search on it. It was so easy. I mean, surprise, surprise, I got a hit on her face. As I suspected, this person had used this picture of a foreign model. See, everything my brother told me about her turned out to be false, even the name. I texted the real person, but did not really expect a response, and I then got her, let's just call her fake persona Lana, to confirm that the picture was from that day. I then asked her for a video call, but of course she had an excuse. She then asked if I still remembered her payment details for the payment, so I lied and said I was having an issue with it. Maybe I could send her money through her bank. She then reminded me that her bank had been frozen, and she still had issues opening it back up. I was getting very tired of this, so I sent her the page of the real girl and informed her that the gig is up. She tried to lie to me, but I informed her that I was not even my brother. The next thing I knew, she had blocked me. I know I should have tried to trick her. I should have just gone down to track her. My friend later told me that I should have given her over to him. He wanted to figure out where she was. He's a tech genius and could probably do it. I took screenshots of all the evidence and presented it to our parents, who were beyond shocked. Mother was especially angry and could not believe my brother had lied like that. I did not even put her anger to mind, because it was a justified reaction, but I wish she would have told me why. 2 days later, I came home to find my brother in the living room. I had just gone to see my dad at the hospital, but he was sleeping, and I had some things to do, so I went back home and resolved to see him the following day. If I had stayed, I would have probably not known that my brother was out of jail and my mother had bailed him out. He was in Mom's arms, sobbing, when I came in, and you best believe I was so angry when I saw him and asked why she let him in. She told me to calm down because he's been through a lot. Apparently, Mom showed him what I had found, and he was in denial. He was still trying to get a hold of the girl, but she was ignoring him, and he blamed me. I didn't care. He was not supposed to be in that house. Father was sick because of him. Mom told me to calm down and be kinder to him. Kinder to him, my foot. How could she bail him out again? It had taken me less than 10 minutes to figure out that the girl was a catfish. What was his excuse? I mean, Mother told me that I did not understand because I had never been in love. I laughed and asked, well, what did she even know about my love life? She did not know anything about her children, and I refused to participate in this circus and decided to leave. My problems were far from over, though, because I got a call a while later informing me that my father had been rushed to surgery after suffering cardiac arrest. I'm still waiting for news, and I just pray that he'll be okay. What bait? 3. Guys, it's been exactly 2 long weeks. Hey everybody, the past 2 weeks have not felt real. Please tell me that they've not been real. I'm losing my mind and cannot decipher what's real or not. Journaling is the only thing keeping me sane right now. If I had not written everything that happened in the past 2 weeks in my diary, I wouldn't have believed it was a fever dream. My dad is gone. He did not make it. He passed away in surgery, and they could not do anything to save him. I keep on seeing the look on the doctor's face when she told us the news, and my first thought was rage at my brother for daring to be in the same hospital as my father. I screamed, I clawed, and cursed at him to leave until my voice was gone. They tried to get me away from him, but I had unexplainable strength. My mother had to tell him to leave because she was fearing for his safety. My mom and I were left in the hallway together, and we cried for a very long time. Then she had to go. I could not bear to see my father's lifeless body, so I stayed, feeling wave after wave of pain attack me. It was horrible. I could not understand that he could just be gone like this. Just gone. I felt robbed by my brother, by the doctors, and of course by God. I regretted every single fight, misunderstanding, or bad moment that we had, and I just wish for one more moment with him. I still think that he's going to text me some corny meme, but he's not. My chat with him has not received any new messages ever since, and everything to do with his funeral is a blur. I only remember telling my mom that if my brother dared to attend our father's funeral, I'd make him regret it. My brother did not attend the funeral, and I'm glad that he did not. I didn't care what anyone says. He's the reason my father is dead, and the autopsy would say so. His charges have worsened, and he's back in jail, because it was determined that my father's health worsened because of him. Final update. Guys, it's been 3 long months. Wow, I never thought that I would be coming home to an empty house, and nobody would be constantly comparing me to my brother. That one day, I would not be the black sheep of the family, and they would be begging me to return home. Never say never, because all of that has come true. My brother was sentenced to 9 to 15 years in prison for his crime. He got involuntary manslaughter for Dad, and if he stays good in prison, then he might come out earlier. He's not getting his share of the inheritance, because he was involved in Dad's death. I got the share of it, which is half of the house and some other assets. Despite that, I found myself unable to stay in that house, even though Mom was the first to apologize to me and express an interest in fixing things. I could not. That house had so many bad memories, and seeing her face every day made me angry. Her apology did not change the fact that she had sympathy for my brother and had bailed him out. It also did not make me feel sorry for her, because now her health was increasingly declining. She never fully recovered from the pills that he gave her, and guess who she wants to take care of her? Well, she wants me to take care of her. She begged and cried for me not to leave her, but my heart had already hardened toward her. I told her that I could not forgive her betrayal. In addition, I was not going to sacrifice my good years for her. I barely had a life because I was always in that house restricted by rules. She had money. She could hire somebody to look after her. I got myself out and I feel so free. I'm finally able to enjoy my life without being dictated to, and it has greatly helped with my grief. Every day feels a little bit easier, and I did not mind other people too much. Unfortunately, I've gotten a lot of judgment for choosing myself from people around town. They don't even know the full story and assume that I'm a selfish daughter who left her mom when she was in need to enjoy the inheritance. I'm not even spending the money my dad left me. I have my own money, and I've been saving up for years. I hate how people have so much to say about my life, as if they're perfect. I try ignoring it, but sometimes I snap, which is what happened this afternoon. And it took me so long to cool off after this encounter that I was getting concerned about myself. An aunt, who is really just a family friend, stopped me when I was going to my car to speak to me. I didn't even get a chance to get a word in before she started saying that she was so disappointed in me for not knowing the true meaning of family. She heard that I left my mother alone in that big house and said, I mean, how selfish. I asked her to mind her own business and allow me to get into my car, but she became even more aggressive. She seemed to have a lot to say about where I would end up, and prayed to God her daughters would not be like me. Before I knew it, I had snapped and told that woman off completely. I told her that she could move in with my mother if she was so worried. If she was so worried all this time, then why did she not attend my father's funeral? Why had I heard her talking badly about my family when we were going through a difficult time? All she knew was talking trash about other people and having the nerve to act like a good Samaritan. I told her to never speak to me or look in my direction again, because next time I would not be so kind. At this point, I was shouting, and she actually scurried off, probably to tell the first person she saw that I verbally attacked her. I don't care if I'm seen as a villain, no more am I taking this treatment. The next person to judge me for no reason is going to get what they deserve. Mark my words.